Hello everyone, I'm Bindut Rikha, Assistant Professor, IMS Ghaziabad. Today we will be discussing about increment and decrement operators in C language. Before moving to increment and decrement operator, first let us see the precedence and associativity of operators. Associativity means from which side the calculation starts, whether the operation performs from left to right or from right to left. And precedence indicates the priority of the operator. That means which operator to execute first. Now let us see this example. Here we have in this expression 1 plus 2 multiplied by 3. Now we have two operators, plus and multiplication. The operator multiplication has a higher priority, more priority over plus. Thus 2 multiplied by 3 is executed first, indicating the result of the expression to be 1 plus 6, and then addition is done, resulting into 1 plus 6 as 7. So the result of this expression would be 7 instead of 9, because multiplication is done first and then addition is done. Now come to associativity. Associativity comes into role when we have in a same expression the operators with the same priority. Say we have this example 6 divided by 2 multiplied by 3. Here we have two operators, multiplication and division. Both have same priority. They both have left to right associativity. That means in this expression we would be solving it as 6 divided by 2 and then the result of 6 divided by 2 multiplied by 3, because we would be moving from left to right since multiplication and division both have the same priority. This is the expression 6 divided by 2 equals to 3. First operation to be performed would be 6 divided by 2 resulting into 3, and then 3 multiplied by 3 would be performed and the resultant value of x would be 9. Thus priority, that is precedence and associativity, plays an important role while evaluating any expression. Now we come to hierarchy of operations for arithmetic operations as well as increment and decrement operators. Increment and decrement operators are the operators that are used to increase the value of variable by 1 or decrease the value of variable by 1 respectively. And these increment and decrement operators are of two types. It can be post increment, post decrement, or it can be pre increment, pre decrement. Post increment, as the name suggests, that the increment is done afterwards or decrement is done afterwards, and pre-increment and pre-decrement indicates the increment or decrement is done previously. First this increment and decrement is done and then the value is assigned. The priority of post-increment and post-decrement is of utmost highest priority. Then we have the priority for pre-increment and pre-decrement. That means in any statement if we have post-increment and pre-increment both, then post-increment operation would be performed prior to pre-increment operation, and the associativity of these operators are mentioned here. Post-increment, post-decrement are left to right, are performed left to right, and pre-increment and pre-decrement have the associativity of right to left. Then we have multiplication, division, modulus, then we have plus minus, and then we have assignment operator. So these are the hierarchies of operations while performing the arithmetic operations that include increment or decrement operators. Now let us see increment and decrement operators. Plus is the increment operator and minus is the decrement operator. These are the unary operators. They are used to increase or decrease the value of operand by 1 respectively. They have the same precedence and the right to left associativity or left to right associativity based on prefix or postfix. Plus plus and minus minus operator occur in two forms, prefix as well as postfix. Now first take a look at this example. If p is equals to 3, then p plus plus and plus plus p both indicates that the value of p is incremented by 1. That is, the value of p would now be 4. P plus plus means post increment and plus plus p means pre-increment. In next example we have, if h is equals to 6, h minus minus and minus minus h, both the statements would decrease the value of h by 1, making it as 5. H minus minus means post decrement and minus minus h means pre-decrement. When we are using post increment or post decrement or pre-increment or pre-decrement as an individual term, it does not affect the value of p. The value is incremented or decremented according to the function we want to perform. But if these pre-increments or post increments are used in assignment expressions, in arithmetic expressions, then their meaning changes. How it changes, let us see. Each of the expression plus plus t and t plus plus, that is pre-increment and post-increment of t, causes the stored value of t to be incremented by 1. However, if we have the expression x is equals to plus plus t, this means the value of t is first increased by 1 and then the increased value is assigned to variable x. We have value of t as 4 and this statement is x is equals to plus plus t. This means the value of t is incremented by 1, that is t becomes 5. Now this value 5 would be assigned to x, thus making the value of t and x both as 5. Next we have the expression x is equals to t plus plus. This is post increment. Here the value of t is first assigned to x. That means the original value, the current value of t would be the value of x, and once the value of t is assigned to x, the value of t would be incremented by 1. Thus value of x would remain the same, that is the value of t, and the value of t would be incremented. So t would be 5 and x would be 4. I hope this example is quite clear. Whenever we use plus plus t or t plus plus, it means pre-increment and post-increment, and value of t is incremented by 1. But when these are increment, pre-increment and post-increment operators are used in an expression, their meaning changes, or rather I must say the way they work changes. In pre-increment, the value is first increased and then assigned. In post-increment, the value is first assigned and then increased. Let us see this example. We have A, B, and C, and value of C is initialized to 0. The next statement is A plus plus C, that is the pre-increment operator, and B is equals to C plus plus, that is the post-increment operator. And finally, we have printed the values of A, B, and plus plus C. That means the value of A, the value of B, and the value of plus plus C is printed. The result I have written here is 113. Let us see how we reach this result. First of all, the statement A is equals to plus plus C is executed. Plus plus C means pre-increment, that is the value of C is incremented first, making its value 1. The incremented value is now assigned to A, thus the value of A also becomes 1. So after this step, value of C and value of A both are 1. Next we come to the third statement, B is equals to C plus plus. In this statement, it is post increment. Post increment means value of C is first assigned to B and then incremented. Now we have the value of C as 1. After second statement, the value of C is 1. Now this one would be assigned to variable b, and then the value of c would be incremented. Thus, after the third statement, the scenario is c is equals to 2 and b is equals to 1. Finally, when we are printing the statement, the value of a is printed, that is 1. The value of b is printed, that is also 1. And the value of c is incremented before printing, thus making the value of c as 3, because the previous value of c was 2. So finally, the output of this particular program or code of statements is a is equals to 1, b is equals to 1, and c is equals to 3. This is how an increment operator works. We have given the examples of pre-increment as well as post-increment here. Next, we have the prefix versus postfix when using decrement operator. It is also almost same as that of increment only, but I am showing you for your convenience that you must know how decrement operator works. Each of the expression minus minus t and t minus minus decreases the value of t by 1 and stores the decremented value of t in variable t. But the expression x is equals to minus minus t means pre-decrement. It first decreases the value of t by 1 and then the decremented value of t is assigned to variable x. Say value of t is 4. X is equals to minus minus t means value of t is decremented by 1. T becomes 3. And the decremented value is now assigned to x, that is x has now become equal to 3. After this statement, x is equals to minus minus t, the value of t and x now both becomes 3. Next we have the example for t minus minus. This is post decrement. So in this case, first the value of t is assigned to x and then the value of t is decremented by 1. T is equals to 4, x is equals to t minus minus. This means the value of t would be assigned to x first. So value of x would be 4 and then the value of t is decremented. The value of t becomes 3. So after this statement, t is 3 and x is 4. I hope with this example things are quite clear to you. Let us have one more example similar to the previous example we had done for increment operator. Here we have three variables a, b and c. Value of c is 5 initially. Our very first statement is a is equals to c minus minus. A is equals to c minus minus means post decrement. Post decrement means first the value is assigned and then the value is decremented. That is, the value of c is assigned to a first, making its value 5, and then value of c is decremented, making c as 4. So after the second statement, the scenario is value of c is 4 and value of a is 5. Third statement says b is equals to minus minus c, that is pre-decrement. Here the value of c is decreased first and then is assigned to variable b. The value of c is decremented by 1, making its value 3. Obviously, the value of c was 4 after second statement. The value is decreased by 1, making it as 3. And then this decremented value is assigned to b. Thus, the value of b also becomes 3. So, after this statement, the value of c and b both are 3. Then we have printf statement wherein we are printing the value of a, b and minus minus c. As we have seen, value of a is 5, value of b is 3. No issues to it. Minus minus c, that means the value is decremented and printed. The previous value of c was 3, so the decremented value of c would be 2. Before printing, the value is decremented. Thus, Finally, A is equals to 5, B is equals to 3 and C is equals to 2 is printed. This is all about increment and decrement operators.